There we is. There we is. Oh, man. As usual, per usual, excellent camera work. What the fuck is happening, mediocre people at YouTube? I am out and about. Got a couple errands to run. I should turn off the radio. And just been busy, man, with all kinds of stuff. Not to mention, here in Michigan, today it's sunny out. And the temperature's actually not too bad. It's probably like maybe in the 40s. Maybe mid 40s even. That's fucking pretty good for January or February in Michigan. But for about the last month, like a whole month, maybe even a month and a half, this is like the first day that I've actually seen the sunshine and I can see blue sky. Let me tell you something, man. That shit fucking wears on you. Cold weather is one thing, and I don't like the cold. Here's this dude trying to get his cat. He's trying to coax his cat out. Oh man, that sucks. Probably an indoor cat that got out and said, fuck yeah, I'm going to explore. Anyway, those fucking days, man, in Michigan, anywhere that you get, like I said, the cold weather, I'm not one for cold weather. I never have been. You know, I grew up here, but I mean, the first time I went south or southwest, I mean, I basically said what every other person said. How did my parents get it so fucking wrong to stay here in Michigan, you know? But nonetheless, you know, I was going to move to Florida for a while back, but had kids and responsibilities, and didn't end up moving to Florida. The plan is, you know, to get the hell out of here at some point. But even Tennessee or the Carolinas, like I say, cold weather's one thing, but those days that, just like I said, at least an entire month, I haven't seen the sunshine like this. I haven't seen blue skies. Maybe even longer than a month. For sure the entire month of January. That shit just eats your soul away, man. I mean, it's just, people get shitty. Everybody's just in a shitty mood all the time. It's amazing how much seeing the sunshine can change your disposition, you know. I mean, everybody I can see already, you know, everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's kind of got a little bit of a smile on their face today. And, yeah, man. So my advice to anyone is just to, if you're going to move anywhere in the country, stay the fuck away from Michigan, because you're not going to like the winters. The summers are beautiful, but the winters, and when I say winter, I'm not talking about December, January, February. I'm talking about September through March. That's winter here, basically. Basically starts in September. The weather goes to shit. And last year, fuck, we didn't even start getting warm temperatures until June. And even June was shitty. We had a shitty spring. It was cold and raining constantly. And that's what it is. And I'll tell you what, I could go on and bitch about the weather here for days, because that's just how fucking terrible it is. And it's how much it fucks with your psyche. But anyway, glad to have a nice sunny day. Nice time to get out for a drive, walk the dogs maybe, if I have enough time, which is not looking that way. But yeah, fucking been busy. Picked up a old Kramer guitar, which ended up being, it's a fucking kick-ass guitar. It has an original Floyd Rose on it, the made in Germany ones. And man, there's just something about those Floyd Rose bridges, those originals. The vibrato you get out of those is incredible. The way I can describe it is to say that the stiffness that's in the bar, I mean, you can kind of like bounce on that bar, and you can get a vibrato out of those bridges that the newer type Floyd Roses just aren't capable of, or at least the ones I've tried, they're just not capable of getting that type of vibrato. Maybe some of the more expensive models are, but anyway, it's been a long time since I played a guitar with one of those original Floyd Roses in it, and that's, man, if nothing else was great about the guitar, that would be a reason to keep it. But turns out, man, it's just a hell of a player. Sounds great right out of the box. You know, everything's original on it, and frets are in pretty good shape. Went and did a level and a crown and everything on it. They're not bad. I would say that the next time that needed to be done, I would go with a refret, because there's definitely, I mean, it's probably God, I know I tried to look into what year it was, and it seems like I came up with like a 1980, I think it's 1984, and so it's been played a lot. You know, it's actually pretty cool because it's, you know, it's naturally relict, just from being, somebody played the hell out of that guitar, and yeah, now it's mine, and I really dig it, and I've actually got it up for sale, but I'm not trying real hard to sell it because I really hate to let go of it, but for the right price I might sell it. Working on amps and stuff like that. Really been getting into, since about November, really been getting into tinkering with tube amplifiers. And I don't know how much you guys that follow my channel are into that kind of thing, but or if, you know, if you guys do any of that kind of stuff. But for me, I've always been, since I was a kid, I've always been into electronics. You know, I used to love, my one brother used to get me, my one brother-in-law and my sister, they used to get me those little electronics things from Radio Shack, like a little kit where you could build a radio or whatever. And I used to always really look forward to those. And I kind of always knew, like on birthdays and Christmas, they would always end up getting me some kind of electronics kit. So since I was a little kid, I've always been into electronics. But and I'm real fluent in like residential electricity and running all that kind of stuff. I'm real good at that. Always have been. But started tinkering with tube amplifiers, and man, I'm really getting into it. I really dig it, man. It's you know, the thing about tube amplifiers is that they're a simple circuit, but there, you know, there's also a lot that goes into them. But you know, you're dealing with very simple circuits for the most part. You know, where solid state stuff, you know, I don't even know where to begin. There's just you know, kind of it seems like there's a lot more to the solid state stuff. And I was able to fix my amplifier, what was going on with it. So that was cool. And then a while back, I had showed you guys an old tube radio that was given to me by the next door neighbor. And it's either a 1941 or 1942, I think it's 41, Silvertone tube amplifier, or tube radio. And it's, somebody cut the cord off it a while back, and I opened it up, and it's like, you're looking, excuse me, as soon as you open it up, you're looking right back into 1941. It's, everything in there is absolutely original. All the capacitors, which are leaking like crazy all over the place, but there's only one electrolytic capacitor that looks like it was replaced at one time, and somebody did a bad job soldering it, and the negative end of it came off, which is probably why somebody cut the cord off because they figured it didn't work anymore or whatever. So I haven't ordered the parts yet because I've already got my list together. I'm going to retube it and pretty much shotgun everything in it because the capacitors that are in it are, like I said, they're obviously leaking all over the place. I may save some of the resistors and stuff. I'll test them to see where they're at. I suppose it would be the cool thing to do would be to keep it as original as possible. In fact, I got to send my tubes out to a guy I know. He's got a tube tester. I was going to send those tubes to see which ones were good because I'd even like to use some of the original tubes as long as I can. I know that's just a lot of people like to see all original stuff, but obviously, there's just no way you can do all original when you've got literally stuff leaking out of capacitors. That's got to come out of there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of going to be like my first build. What I really wanted to do when I started getting into this, of course, I watched Brad the Guitologist, and I watch Uncle Doug. There's Mr. Carlson's Lab, and a couple other tube amp channels on YouTube that have given me. I'll tell you what, when it comes to the technical stuff, the real technical stuff, Uncle Doug is his content is priceless, man. It really is. He goes in, he's got stuff in there. I went right to the basics, exactly how does a tube amplifier work? How does a power transformer work? How does an output transformer work? How does this? And I watched, a ton of his content. And initially what I really want to do is get an old Fender Champ or something along that lines, maybe one of those Epiphone amps, something with a very simple circuit that I can just kind of fool around with. I hope you guys can see me. I know the camera work is fucking fantastic as usual. Something with a very simple circuit, a tube amplifier with a very simple circuit that I can just tinker around with and do modifications on and just throw different resistors in, throw different caps just to see what it does, to get an idea, and then, like I said, I'm really digging it, man. So, I don't know, at some point, maybe I'll start servicing them if I can, if I can get enough experience. The only way you're going to get that experience is to service them, but I don't really want to, I wouldn't trust myself to charge somebody for amplifier service, of course, at this point, because I just don't know. I don't know my ass from a hole in the ground right now. But I'm just, man, I bet you I spent 2 weeks just constantly studying the tube amp book and different content from creators. Like I said, Uncle Doug, really another guy that has a lot of really technical stuff on his channel is Mr. Carlson's Lab. And then, of course, you guys can watch Brad the Guitologist, and he's going through amplifiers every day on his channel, and there's a lot of knowledge to be had in his in the Guitologist's channel, because you're basically watching him service an amp. And I think Brad's channel is kind of more like kind of help teach you to do basic service on an amplifier, what to look for in a typical amplifier service, although he's had some doozies on there too. But I guess, any amp, there's no real typical service. You never really know what you're going to run into. And that's what I really like about that stuff. I like the puzzle, So yeah, it's something I'm getting into, and something I guess I have, the time to start learning that stuff now. Which is very cool. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Other than that, like I said, just been keeping real busy. I've got a couple of projects going on right now that on the side that I'm doing and finishing up, and got a couple other projects that need to start up. But yeah, so we're just I figured I'm taking a ride got to go run a couple of errands, so figured I'd turn the camera on and say hello to you guys, see how everybody's doing. You know, there's some of you out there that know that you guys see I'll pop in on a lot of different live streams and stuff like that. So you've seen me around in the comments or in the live streams. Oh, by the way, you know, I wanted to give a shout out again to Cappy from Boston. If you don't know Cappy from Boston's channel, go check him out. I will try to remember to put a link in the description or up in this video right about here or whatever, if I remember. He's the guy that, you know, he's the reason I ended up buying this old Kramer guitar that I bought, was because of him. Cappy's got me looking at guitars that I never really thought all that much about. You know, it's not that I thought they were not great guitars. I just never thought too much of it. He got me into looking at these Kramers, and go over and check out his channel, because he's got some knowledge when it comes to these Kramer guitars. BC Rich. He's got a bunch of content, you know, doing some guitar work. So go check him out. And like I said, he's got me looking into guitars that I never really thought about that much. And like I say, the reason I bought this Kramer. So like I said, if you don't know who Cappy from Boston is, go check him out. Other than that, I am going to say goodbye, because I am about to get to my destination. And I will see you guys soon. Hopefully I'll do I know I've got a lot of content that I have to do. I want to review this Kramer. I want to get the Strat that I have. I want to get that done, finished up. That's getting a new bridge, in fact, I'm thinking about putting a Floyd on there and retrofitting a locking nut and all that. So that's going to be coming up. There's a lot of fucking videos I want to do, so I got to get myself organized and see which one comes first. But in the meantime, I'll do me, you do you. Peace out. Here's my coffee.